The Lion King was directed by Jon Favreau this time around. This is the adaptation, I hesitate to say live action, there was a massive debate about this online, of the 1994 classic animated film. And in case you somehow do not know the plot of this movie, Simba gets his right to the throne of Pride Rock challenged when his evil uncle Scar causes tragedy to occur and banishes Simba from the Pride Lands. This is another live action remake from Disney. We already had Aladdin this year, and we've had Cinderella and the Jungle Book and Beauty and the Beast and Pete's Dragon and Dumbo, which I still haven't seen and probably won't because I've heard rough things about it, and I was never a massive fan of the original Dumbo film anyway. But when it comes to live action remakes, The Jungle Book, which was also directed by Favreau, and I really enjoyed, that at least had a young actor in it who was surrounded by a digital environment. In the case of this film, though, it's basically another form of animation, just not the traditional hand-drawn that the original Lion King did so well. And I'm not going to get too hard into that debate here because I think it's pointless, and we really want to talk about the film. In regards to visuals and the technical achievement that this film shows us, mind-blowing. No matter what you think of this movie, you must praise the artists that worked on it. They have created a beautiful world that absolutely looks photorealistic. The trees, the sky, the mountaintops, the blades of grass, insects, all of the animals, everything looks incredible. And it's impossible to deny the technical brilliance that's on display constantly. The voice cast is also really good. James Earl Jones, once again as Mufasa, is obviously music to my ears. And Seth Rogen as Pumbaa is essentially perfect casting. He laughs as Pumbaa, and I heard Seth Rogen laugh as Pumbaa in a movie, which was vastly satisfying to me. And that's about where I'm going to stop with the praising. The rest of the movie has some great stuff too, but it's all just stuff from the 94 film. I mean, Hans Zimmer's score, I got that shit on vinyl. I love it. I've always loved it. But this movie didn't create it. The opening scene with the Circle of Life song is an iconic scene that is recreated here. The story is emotionally affecting like it was in 1994. The characters are entertaining like they were in 1994. Timon and Pumbaa bickering. That's funny, just like it was in 1994. Are you getting where I'm going with this? This movie is a shot-for-shot remake of The Lion King. There's no personality of its own. It's completely predictable in every way. There's no surprises. There's very little that's new. And the things that are new are mostly things that have just been removed or shortened. Like the Be Prepared song, for instance, is heavily shortened. There's a new song that's added. And hilariously, the song Can You Feel the Love Tonight was originally featured in a scene that took place at night. But in this movie, the scene is in broad daylight, so the song title no longer makes sense. Can you feel the love this afternoon, I guess? But what disappointed me the most about this film is not that some songs have been shortened, or that some scenes have been removed, but that the personality of the original film is non-existent here. This film is soulless. Much of the humor and mysticism of the original film has been completely removed and replaced with an overly serious attempt at an epic movie. And it does not have to be. I love Jon Favreau. He's one of my favorite filmmakers working today. I've loved just about every film he has made, particularly Iron Man and Chef. And I love the idea of him taking this and making it his own, but he hasn't. This reminds me of when Gus Van Sant made Psycho in 1998, and it was essentially a shot-for-shot remake of Alfred Hitchcock's film, and he added weird things like strange visions and, some scenes here and there. But for the most part, I watch Gus Van Sant's Psycho, and I wonder why. What is the point of that film? Why is this necessary? Psycho is already a classic. It was already good. Everybody loved it. What's the point of doing it again if you're not going to add your own spin on it? And that's exactly how I feel about Disney's live-action Lion King remake. Because it's essentially the same movie. And I will always love that original film, and I will always want to watch that original film. I guarantee that any day I will always want to watch that original film over this. And I know for a fact that there will be many people who enjoy this movie and who just want to see exactly what this film offers. The same movie, just with a different look and more realistic characters. And if that's all you want, if that satisfies you, you're going to have a good time. You're going to enjoy this movie. But if you want a filmmaker to actually take this material and put a spin on it, make it feel fresh or unique, you're not going to get that. At the same time, doing that, Favreau would risk hurting a lot of people because, oh my God, you butchered The Lion King. This is nothing like the original, blah, blah. So that's, again, I circle back to what's the point. It's unnecessary. It should never have been done. Lion King's a classic. A movie like The Jungle Book, you can do a remake of that. There's already been tons of Jungle Book movies. The Little Mermaid, I could see that too, to be honest. The Lion King, though, like that's top tier Disney. There's no point to it. And I feel like Disney just thought, well, we're doing the live action stuff now, so we have to do The Lion King, right? I mean, we have to. Do you really have to, Bob? Yes, Jeff. Yes. Another issue that presents itself when you have these characters look like photorealistic lions is that they are not showing the level of emotion that the facial expressions show in the original animation. And you can tell there was an attempt to make it look as real as possible. So during the stampede sequence and Simba sees what he sees and he screams no, it just looks like a lion just opening his mouth. And there's no like emotion there. There are fight sequences, as you may expect, between characters, and they just look like lions fighting. About halfway through the movie, I realized they were going to change basically nothing, and it would be a shot-for-shot remake, and so I just found myself watching each scene thinking, how will they do this? Oh, they did it just like the other one, except without the personality. And it just felt kind of shameless, you know, like I tend to give studios and people the benefit of the doubt. I do. I might be a little naive. In the case of this movie, I would like to think that they thought, well, we can make a new version of The Lion King and people will like it and young kids who've never seen the original will like it, which is probably true. I mean, I came close to hating the live action Aladdin, but people apparently liked that movie. So what the hell do I know? Aladdin. Oh. But the cynic in me wants to say this is a cash grab because the movie has no soul. It just feels like Control-C, Control-V. There's your new Lion King. In regards to Timon and Pumbaa, they have obviously retained a lot of their humor. They didn't do too much to those characters in regards to stripping that humor from them. But they've done it with just about every other character. All of the subtleties and the nuances that were in the performances and in the characters and the script in the original film seem to have been stripped away here, especially with Rafiki. Rafiki was always my favorite character in the original film. I've loved Rafiki forever, and they removed so much of his humor. No longer do we have this great moment.
Ow! Jeez, what was that for? It doesn't matter. It's in the past.
How do you cut out like one of the most important character building moments in The Lion King? Like, I get that you want to do something new, which is what I'm asking. So now I'm complaining about something they did that was new, even though they just cut something out. But I'm putting myself in the headspace of the people who made this movie. If you're going to make a shot-for-shot remake, why cut out that? Like, if you've already committed to doing every single thing, including the way the shots move and when they cut, that the original film did, why would you cut out, like, one of the most important character moments? Disney gets quite a bit of hate online because they own so many different properties now, and their hands are in a lot of different fandoms. And so a lot of people are expressing themselves. And sometimes they make good films, but in the case of these live-action remakes in particular, they're starting to get very stale. This movie has none of the vitality of the original story, very little of the energy, and the emotion and humor seems to be stripped away in favor of a bland retelling of a story that we all know and love. But still, you've got to hand it to the people behind the scenes making this film, the technical artists, the people behind the visual effects, because it is stunning and it is potentially game-changing in that way for what you can do with digital characters. It's just that it was in service of a copy and paste movie. I'm going to give The Lion King a C. I think Disney has tapped into something here. I think they know exactly what they're doing, and they are going to make so much fucking money with this movie because nostalgia. Nostalgia sells. And people will go and see a movie where they know exactly what's going to happen because they already love that movie. And they will look at another movie just to see how that movie looks. I don't know what's happening. For some reason, that was really funny to me. So yeah, like if you want to put a Blu-ray quote for this movie, The Lion King 2019 was The Lion King. Anyway, guys, thank you so much as always for watching. Look forward to a review of the HBO series Chernobyl. I'm almost done with it. A lot of people have been asking me to watch it. I will have that to you by this weekend, as well as Crawl. And I'm planning on seeing Stuber, but that's just a lot of stuff to do in like 3 days. So I will try to get as much of that out this weekend as possible. Thank you guys so much as always for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.